Hello, I'm Mason, and welcome. Now, today's video is quite interesting. We have a story to tell. It starts like this. It comes most often at night, that nangling memory gnawing in some corner of your mind like a rodent chewing the corners of the drywall. The memory of some brightly lit cartoon, funland, or world of puppets. A memory of a TV show you would watch, seated cross-legged on the living room floor, with the fixed, enthusiastic attention only a child can give. Attention that you wish now you perhaps hadn't given up so freely. For there is something about that show, something about the discordant music, the details of the characters, their motives, and the storylines, the fixed maniacal grins that seems, looking back, to be altogether too sinister to be in a children's show. You try to block out the memory, and yet, there in the back of your mind, most often at night, the puppet's fixed grin keeps on smiling. Cove is a widely known and popular creepypasta. This is the story we will be reading today. What I just read to you was the intro. It's to tell the story. Now, let's get into the actual story. Net nostalgia form, television, local. Sky Shale 033. Subject class, Cove. Local kid show. Does anybody remember this kid show? It was called Cove, and I must have been 6 or 7. I never found reference to it anywhere, so I think it was a local station around 1971 or 1972. I lived in Ironton at the time. I don't remember which station, but I do remember it was on at a weird time, like 4 p.m. Mike Painter, 65. Subject, RE, Cove, local kid show. It seemed really familiar to me. I grew up outside of Asheville and was 9 years old in 1972. Cove, was it about pirates? I remember a pirate marionette at the mouth of a cave talking to a girl. Yes! Okay, I'm not crazy. I remember Pirate Percy. I was always kind of scared of him. He looked like he was built from parts of other dolls. Real low budget. His head was an old porcelain baby doll. Looked like an antique that didn't belong on the body. I don't remember what station this was though. I don't think it was WTSF though. Jaren, 2005. Sorry to resurrect this old thread, but I know exactly what show you mean. Sky Shale. I think Cove ran for only a couple months in 71, not 72. I was 12 and I watched it a few times with my brother. It was channel 58. Whatever station that was. My mom wouldn't let me switch it on after the news. Let me see what I remember. It took place in Cove, and it was about a little girl who imagined herself to be friends with pirates. The pirate ship was called the Laughingstock, and Pirate Percy wasn't a very good pirate because he got scared too easily. And there was a calliope music constantly playing. Don't remember the girl's name, Janice or Jade or something. I think it was Janice. Sky Shale. Thank you, Jaren. Memories flooded back when you mentioned the Laughingstock in channel 58. I remember the bow of the ship was a wooden smiling face with lower jaw submerged. It looked like it was swallowing the sea and had that awful Edie Whim voice and laughed. I especially remember how jarring it was when they switched from the wooden/plastic model to the foam puppet version of the head that talked. I remember that now too. Sorry. Mike Painter. I remember that now too. Do you remember this part, Sky Shale? You have to go inside. Sky Shale. Oh Mike. I got a chill reading that. Yes, I remember. That's what the ship always told Percy when there was a spooky place he had to go in. Like a cave or dark room where the treasure was, and the camera would push in on Laughingstock's face with each pause. You have to go inside. With his eyes askew and that flopping foam jaw and the fishing line that opened and closed it. Ugh, just looked so cheap and awful. You guys remember the villain? He had a face. He was just a handlebar mustache above really tall narrow teeth. Kevin Hart. Honestly, I thought the villain was Pirate Percy. I was about 5 when the show was on. Nightmare Fuel. Jared. That wasn't the villain. The puppet with the mustache, that was the villain's sidekick. Horace Horrible. He had a monocle too, but it was on top of the mustache. I used to think that meant he only had one eye. But yeah, the villain was another Marriott. The Skin Taker. I can't believe they let us watch back then. Come on. Jesus H. Christ, the Skin Taker. What kind of kid show were you watching? I seriously could not look at the screen when the Skin Taker showed up. He just descended out of nowhere on his strings like a dirty skeleton wearing that brown top hat and cape. And his glass eyes were too big for his skull. Christ almighty. Sky Shade. Wasn't his top hat and cloak all sewn up crazily like it was supposed to be children's skin? Like, yeah, I think so. Remember, his mouth didn't open and close. His jaw just slid back and forth. I remember the little girl saying, "Why does your mouth move like that?" And the Skin Taker didn't look at the girl, but at the camera and said, "To grind your skin." Sky Shale. I'm so relieved that other people remember this terrible show. I used to have this awful memory, a bad dream I had where the opening jingle ended, the show faded from black, and all the characters were there. The camera was just cutting to each of their faces, and they were just screaming, and the puppets and marionettes were flailing sporadically, and all just screaming. The girl had been moaning and crying like she had been through hours of this. I woke up so many times from that nightmare. I used to wet the bed when I had it. Good night. I don't think that was a dream. I remember that. I remember that was an episode. Sky Shade. No, that's not possible. There was no plot or anything. I mean, literally just standing in place crying, screaming for the whole show. Kevin Hart. Maybe I'm manufacturing the memory, but because you said that. But I swear to God, I remember seeing what you described. They just screamed. Sharon. Oh God, yes. The little girl Janice. I remember seeing her shake and the Skin Taker screaming through his gashing teeth, his jaw careering so wildly I thought it would just come off its wire hinges. I turned it off and it was the last time I watched. I ran to tell my brother and we didn't have the courage to turn it back on. Mike Painter. I visited my mom today at the nursing home. I asked her about when I was little in the early 70s, when I was 8 or 9, and if she remembered a kid's show, Candle Cove, and she said she was surprised I could remember that and asked why. And I said, because I used to think it was so strange that you said, "I'm gonna go watch Candle Cove now, Mom," and then you turn the TV to static and just watch dead air for 30 minutes. You had a big imagination with your little pirate show. Alright. I do realize I kind of messed up there a little bit. It's okay. Part of my channel is I show you guys the mistakes. Why? because editing's hard, man. But yeah, I don't think I have much to say this time around, but thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever. If you have any more SCPs or creepypastas you want me to read, it is coming close to the end of my October series. Just comment below and I'll get it all settled. So, see you then.